guys, so for today's video, I am going to be doing, I don't even know what I'm calling this. I have been thinking about what to call this for so long. I've been thinking about what to call this video for weeks, I'm not even kidding. And then last night I was thinking about it as I was falling asleep. I woke up thinking about it. I would love to call it like my go-to palette or like my can't live without palette, but then that sounds like a palette that you purchase at Sephora, and that's not what this video is about. So what this video is about is this palette right here. This is a Z palette that I customize with my favorite individual eyeshadows. So the normal size Z palette is like way smaller than this. It's like literally like this big right here. But this one is like the Mega Daddy Z palette. I don't know what it's called, if it's called the Pro palette, the Mega palette, I'm not really sure. I will find it somewhere on a website. I'll link it down below for you guys. That way you have a reference to the size of this. This palette lives with me at home. It's the only eyeshadows I keep with me at my home on a day-to-day basis. When I travel and I go out of town, this is the only palette I bring with me when I go out of town. So basically I have created like my dream everyday go-to can't live without palette with my single individual shadows I had in my collection. So every single shadow that you see in here is either by MAC, Makeup Geek, or Anastasia of Beverly Hills. I snapped about this about a month and a half ago or so, I'm not really sure, and I've gotten requests for a video going into detail, a product breakdown of every single shadow in this palette pretty much every single day since. So that's what I'm going to be doing for you guys today, is basically just talking about my favorite can't live without shadows. I have everything in here from my highlights. I have 3 different highlights for 3 different moods that I'm in. I have all my transition colors. I have my warm transitions, my cool transitions, my purpley transitions. I've got my warm browns. I've got everything. I've got my pops of color, my corals, my reds, my greens, everything that I could need to create a look, I've got right here. And I love having this with me at my house now, especially just in one palette like this, because most of the time, like in my life, I've always had like my neutral palette, my purple palette, my green palette, like I have them so organized that I tend to always grab my neutral palette and only do my eyes neutral. Now that I see all of these laid out all the time, it encourages me to be like, ooh, let's use this one today. Let's use this on the lower lash line. It encourages me to step outside of just my everyday neutrals and add some fun pops of color to my everyday look, which I have been doing a lot recently. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the video. I'm gonna go one by one, and I'm going to show you what shadow is which in the order that they're in, from what brand. I will also give you a swatch of every single color so that you can see what my favorite go-to individual eyeshadows are. So let's get started. First shadow, of course, is my favorite highlight ever for the brow bone and the inner eyes. This is NYLON by MAC. It's super duper frosty, the tiniest bit that goes such a long way. It's also absolutely gorgeous as a highlight on the top of the cheekbone. It also has kind of a yellow undertone, so it really makes it beam off the skin. Next highlight, we have MIRAGE by Makeup Geek, and this is actually close to a matte with just a little bit of a sheen in it. I personally love this one if you want a really natural looking highlight, or if I ever like take my eyeshadow too high and I don't have time to like wipe it off and redo it, I'll almost use this as an eraser because it's just so natural that I'll kind of use it to buff away my shadow, and I love it. Next we have Rapunzel. This is beautiful. It's like not a full shimmer, not a full matte. It has the perfect amount of sheen in it. If you are looking for a really beautiful brow bone highlight and you don't want it to be ultra frosty like NYLON, and you don't want it to be really matte, I would really suggest this one. It's a nice neutral color and it just looks gorgeous on so many skin tones. Next we have Peach Smoothie, which basically doesn't even need an introduction. This is one of my favorite transition colors of all time. It's just so natural with a little bit of a peach undertone in it, which is why I love it, because I think that peach really awakens and like makes the eyes look very bright and feminine. So Peach Smoothie. Again by Makeup Geek, we have Creme Brulee. This is just a really, really beautiful kind of natural shade. I mix this and Peach Smoothie all the time together. That is my go-to transition color on days where I want to really emphasize the eyes and look more awake, but at the same time I don't want to go smoky. Creme Brulee is super neutral and just really, really easy to apply. Next I have Soft Brown by MAC, which is similar to Creme Brulee in the sense that they can both be used the same way, but Soft Brown has more of a pink undertone in it. So I love Soft Brown when I am doing anything that incorporates like a purple or a pink look. Like if I want my eyes to look more mauve-y, I will go with Soft Brown by MAC as opposed to Creme Brulee by Makeup Geek. Next we have Frappe. This is Frappe, right? Yeah, Frappe. This is a really nice medium toned kind of brownish red. Now, when you first look at it and you're holding it individually, you're not gonna think that it has any red undertones in it, but when you hold it next to other browns, you will see that there is definitely a reddish pinky undertone, which makes it really different than the rest of them. Now I have MAC Kid. I don't know if this is actually available anymore. I heard a rumor that they got rid of it, which would be really, really sad because this is such a great transition color for someone who is really fair, or if you're trying to do a more cool tone, neutral eye look. MAC Kid is just a great transition color to start with. It's very pale. It's got a little bit of a gray undertone in it. It's just beautiful. Now we have Barcelona Beach. This is by Makeup Geek, and this has a lot of gray tones in it. So this shadow I have used in several tutorials, and I always go in with it when I want my shadow to be a little bit more cool. So if I'm going in with purples, if I'm going in with grays, if I'm gonna do like a silver and black smoky eye, Barcelona Beach is a great color to use in the transition color in the crease because it is cool, but it's not so cool that it's gonna make your eyes look bruised. It has like a little bit of a gray taupey undertone, so it'll help hold that look together. Next we have Fawn, and this is by Anastasia Beverly Hills. Just like the other ones, it's a great transition color for the crease. It's very neutral. It's just basically brown. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a great neutral brown. There's no hints of pink, peaches. It's just a great neutral transition color. I can't say transition color for the crease. Now we have MAC Saddle. This is one of my favorites. This was my original love, MAC Saddle and Red Brick. Those were like my favorite babies ever. Like, I've been using Saddle literally since I was 15 years old. This is one of my first like MAC shadows of all time. I've gone through probably 15 of these things. It is one of my favorite colors just to put in my crease. Like, I'll do Creme Brulee and Peach Smoothie in my transition color, and then I'll put this lower in my crease. I just love it. It's like a nice bronze, warm brown. It's just beautiful, and this is a matte shadow. I absolutely love MAC Saddle. Now we have Desert Sands by Makeup Geek, and this is one of my favorite colors. I mean, I'm gonna say that about everything in this palette because it's like my favorites, but oh my gosh, this is kind of the color of baby puke, and I've mentioned that for years on my channel. I know it sounds so disgusting, but it's one of my favorite colors. It's like that mustardy yellow kind of baby vomit. It's just so beautiful. I love it so much, and that again is by Makeup Geek. Another one of my all-time favorites. I love this shadow. This is Makeup Geek Chickadee, such a cute name. And this is just a really, really great peachy orange shade, but it's like a creamsicle color. It's not too orange. It's not like MAC Rule. It's not in your face. I love using this when I have a tan, like in the summer as my transition color. I'll take just this and some peach smoothie and go lightly and dust it in my crease. And I just think that it really emphasizes the tan, but since it's matte, it still looks natural and it just gives your eye a glow. It's really, really beautiful. A lot of people are intimidated by shades like that, but don't be. Like, they're so flattering. Now we have MAC Amber Lights. This is one of my original favorites, again by MAC, one of my first eyeshadows I ever owned by MAC. I've been through so many of these. It's such a gorgeous, gorgeous gold, but it's not just like a normal gold. It's like a rusty gold, almost like a burnt gold maybe. It's such a good color. MAC Swiss Chocolate. The one thing I will say is I wish that MAC Swiss Chocolate had more pigment. I've been ride or die for this eyeshadow for years and years and years, but I always feel like I have to dig my brush so hard into MAC Swiss Chocolate to get the color payoff that I really, really want. But this is kind of a deep purpley brown. It's so flipping gorgeous. Now we're gonna start moving into like the reds and copper. Now we have MAC Red Brick. The shade is so effing good, like I can't. It's just a matte, kind of palish red orangey shade. It's not like red, like a strawberry, you know, but it's just perfect. It's perfection. Then I have Makeup Geek Poppy. I love this shade because of the fact that it isn't like an orange, it isn't a red, but in the name of it is perfect. It's got like almost like a pinky coral undertone along with orange, and it just comes together so perfectly. I love this shade. My favorite way to use this shade is like right now I would grab like a transition brush, a buffing brush, and I would just tap it like right here in the crease area, and it will really just brighten that area up and make it like give it a pop. Poppy! Oh my god, how cute! This is Anastasia of Beverly Hills Henna. This color is so freaking bomb. I love this shade. So this is definitely a statement shade. It is like a firecracker, very copper, very red, very rusty, very pigmented. Now we have MAC Copper Ring. This is one of my favorite eyeshadows of all time. I feel like I can see Copper Ring from a mile away. Like if someone within a 1 mile radius is wearing this, I'm like, there's a girl 6 houses down left hand side over on Coral Street, she's wearing Copper Ring. This is just one of my favorite eyeshadows ever. It's just such a beautiful shimmery copper shade. Obviously Cocoa Bear has the biggest hit of pan out of all of them because Cocoa Bear is one of my ride or dies. It's just such a gorgeous all matte burnt red brown. Absolutely gorgeous. Can't live without Cocoa Bear. This is Anastasia Fudge. I recently mentioned how much I love this color in one of my favorites videos. I don't remember which month it was, but that's irrelevant. Absolutely gorgeous. It is such a dark, pigmented, fudgy brown. I love it. It is so easy to use with so many different eye looks. It's just a perfect brown. Like, it's just perfect, honestly. It's like my favorite brown right now, honest to God. It's like very neutral, not too purple, not too gray, not too warm, not too cool. It's bomb. It's fudge. Now we have Makeup Geek Grandstand. Grandstand is so beautiful. I love using Grandstand for a smoky eye and doing like warm browns in the crease and then super dark browns and like blacks in the outer corner. It's just absolutely gorgeous. It's kind of like got a pinky champagne-y undertone. It's just beautiful. Not too light, not too dark, just beautiful. Now we have Vintage by Makeup Geek. This is a matte kind of medium tone cool purple. This color is what I use if I'm doing like a really purple eye and I need to blend out a purple shade. You never know what shade to grab. I will grab Vintage. The only thing is you want to keep it low because if you take Vintage up too high, it will start to look like a bruise. You want to use a more warm to neutral shade in the crease because that'll keep you from looking like you've been punched, basically. Now we have Cherry Cola, again by Makeup Geek. Such a gorgeous shade. It's got like a purpley cherry undertone. So gorgeous. I don't know if I would call this a purple or like a purple meets brownish. I don't know, but this color is so good. I reach for it constantly. I love this shade. This is Aubergine by Anastasia. I mentioned this in a video as well. It's got a sheen to it. It's not a full matte. It's not a full shimmer. It's got the perfect amount of sheen. I will wear this in my outer corner. I'll wear this underneath on my lower lash line because it's not too shimmery, but it's also not matte. It's just such a good purple color. I love it. I didn't even realize that one of these browns right here is something that I actually can't talk about yet because it's something that I am working on, but you'll see it later. Next we have Bitten by Makeup Geek. I love this color. I say that about every single thing that I pick up, but I just love everything in here. And this is such a beautiful shade. I went through a really, really hardcore phase where I was using Bitten like literally every single day for probably a year. People were like, stop using Bitten already. It's just a really awesome kind of warm purple eyeshadow. I love it. So last brown in the palette is Americano by Makeup Geek. This is more of a medium to dark, kind of cooler tone matte brown. This is definitely isn't warm and it's not fully neutral either. There's definitely some gray kind of taupey notes in there. So if I ever want to reach for something that's not so warm like everything else, that's what I'll grab. We've got Makeup Geek Cupcake. This is a really beautiful soft pink, not too pink because I can be afraid to use pinks on my eyes even though I love reds, coppers, corals. Pinks scare me because I can easily look sick, but this color is a pink that I can wear and I absolutely love. There's a big dent in this one right here because I use it a lot, especially in the summertime because I think it looks just really beautiful when I'm personally just a little bit more bronze. When I'm really fair, I can't do those shadows. They just make me look like, Jaclyn, are you feeling okay? And I'm like, yes, I'm fine. I just need to wash off my eye makeup. Now we have Anastasia Macaron. I'll just say macaroon. This is a really gorgeous lilac purple color. It's got a very intense shimmer to it. It's super different. I think it's gorgeous. I've only used this one time, but I have it in my palette because I'm like, I want to start picking this up more often. So it's there as an encouragement to myself. I love this color. This is Houdini by Makeup Geek. I've done a tutorial using Houdini. It's such a gorgeous kind of, I don't even know, it's like a turquoise blue, emerald, deep sea kind of, I don't know how to describe this. It's just gorgeous, such a cool, fun color. This is Dragonfly by Makeup Geek, and I've only used this once, but I love it so much because it's just so different. I will be using this in the spring and the summer for sure. Like, this is a color that you can just pop on the lower lash line, or you can just like make a pop of color and just like smoke this out on the outer corner and put on some lashes, and it's just so fun and so different. I love the vibrancy, and I love that it's matte. I feel like we don't have that many matte pops of color, and I love this. So fun and so different. That's another color that's in there just to encourage me. Like, come on, Jaclyn, wear me, wear me. This is Makeup Geek Jester, which is a foiled eyeshadow, and it is very olive green with golden undertones. So gorgeous. I've worn this several times, and I just think it's so beautiful, especially if you have brown eyes. Jester is just like, ugh, beautiful. I feel like olive greens in general aren't as popular as I wish they were, because I love olive green. Speaking of olive green, Dirty Martini by Makeup Geek, matte olive green. This color is everything. Oh my God, I love this. You can take this and just put it all over your entire lid, blend it out with like a warm brown and put on some lashes, and oh my God, you've got the most beautiful smoky eye in seconds. This is just such a good color. And then last color in the palette is Enchanted Forest. And again, this is by Makeup Geek. And this is an all matte kind of forest green. Oh, that makes sense why they call it Enchanted Forest. Duh. Super, super beautiful. I love the way this looks with Dirty Martini, which of course is matte as well. They just really complement each other. Gorgeous. I can just hold this color up like to my face and just stare at it. I'm like, you are so pretty. I hope that for those of you who requested this video, you really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys and I'll see you soon. Mwah! Bye. Ow, just smacked myself in the chin. That hurt.